Today.
Good.
Today I'm going to talk about a little bit about Medicare and kind of make things a little more simpler. This is for a general presentation, a longer presentation. I'm just kind of doing a Kevin Henderson and chopping that a little bit to work on, if you will. So what I'm going to talk about today is when you are eligible, and I'm going to talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of parts A, B, and C, and possibly D if we have a little bit of time left for that. So let's jump into it. And when are you eligible for Medicare? Age 65 is pretty much the date when you are eligible for it. If you are under 65, you can get Medicare if you are disabled and there are special situations which Medicare will allow that to happen. You have to be a U.S. citizen or a legal resident and lived in the U.S. For the 5 consecutive years. Sometimes there's a little there's not a lot of clarity with Social Security and Medicare when they put together. It doesn't matter whether you're on Social Security or not on Social Security yet. Your age-in date for Medicare is 65. So Social Security does not play a factor in your eligibility date for Medicare. There are a couple different types, a couple different ways you can get Medicare. And Medicare A and B is the first one I'm going to talk about, and that's provided by the government and government subcontractors, where Medicare pays fees for the care you receive directly to the hospitals and doctors when you go get your health care from them. The second way is Medicare Advantage in Part C. This is called Part C. This is another monster, another beast that I want to talk about, probably another 8 to 10 minute speech on this later on. But it is provided by private companies that are approved by Medicare, and examples of this would be a United Healthcare, a Coventry, or a Humana. And what happens is Medicare pays a fixed fee to the plans or to the companies, and then the company or the plan pays the doctors and hospitals for your care. So, talk about what Medicare A is and what it means. Is Part A helps with hospital costs and skilled nursing services after a hospital stay and some other skilled care. Some of the advantages of Part A is that most people don't pay a premium for Part A, and you only have to pay a deductible for a hospital stay less than 60 days. You can go to any qualified hospital that accepts new Medicare patients, so it's accepted through the U.S. And the enrollment is fairly easily, and there is no qualifications on pre-existing conditions or medical history. So it doesn't matter what your previous history is, you can still qualify for Part A. Some of the disadvantages of Part A is that long hospitalizations can be fairly expensive, because after 60 days there's a co-payment per day on that. So if you're in the hospital for 3 or 4 months, it can be extremely expensive. Multiple stays may mean multiple deductibles. And what that means is that if you're in the hospital 5 different times throughout the year, and say your deductible is $1,000, you could rack up around $5,000 in deductibles that you'd have to pay out of pocket throughout the year. Hospital care outside the U.S. Is generally not covered. Now moving on to Part B. Part B helps with the cost of doctor visits and other medical services that do not require an inpatient hospital stay. Some of the advantages of Part B is that it works the same way throughout the U.S. You receive care from any participating physician that accepts new Medicare patients, just like Part A. And just like Part A, your medical history or pre-existing conditions do not matter. You're still eligible for it at 65. Some of the disadvantages of that is if you wait to join, you may have a higher premium. With Part B, there is a premium associated with it, and it's around $110 a month. In general, you have to pay a 20% co-insurance for Medicare approved cost, and there is no out-of-pocket maximum for Part B. So if you spend $100,000, you're paying 20% of that, which is $20,000. That's just a rough, easy calculation. And just like Part A, generally the care outside the U.S. is not covered. Now, talk about Part C being kind of its own monster, its own little beast. This is where Part C is a single plan that's offered by private insurance companies like the Humana, like the Coventry, and United Healthcares. And what they do is they combine coverage for Part A and Part B. And Part D, which is a prescription drug plan, and they kind of combine everything, wrap it up, and make it into one little package. Now, some of the advantages of Part C is that they have the convenience of a single plan, so you're not having to worry about Part A and Part B. It's just one single plan. Many do include a prescription drug plan at no additional cost. And the eligibility for enrollment is not really affected by your health or your financial status, but there are special rules, special rules for in-state rental fees. Some of the disadvantages is that in most plans, you receive coverage in a service area. And that's unless it's an emergency. So if you're out of town in Texas or something, and you have an emergency, you can still get coverage under your health care plan. But they try to get you in your service area. Your access to your doctors and hospitals may be restricted, and this is typically like a healthcare plan that you are used to having before Medicare, where different coverages or different plans have different hospitals and different doctors in them. And then, lastly, one of the disadvantages is that the plan premiums and terms can change from year to year. So that's all I got time for today. At a later date, I will go over Part D. But thank you very much, and have a good day.
Interesting speech, Richard. George and I have the Part P.
Part P.
Yes, and that is the pillow solution. Our next speaker is Anab A, and she is giving her 10th speech, and the title of it is Get Involved. Anab A.
The world is getting smaller. We are this global community together. And by just sitting in our kitchen table, we cannot surf the net trying to find what this earth is all about. A lot of barriers are removed with the new technology. Barriers of distance or language or race. We have the technology which we can see it, anything we put on our mind from any corner of this earth. We also have a lot of common challenges from all over the world: overpopulation, depleting resources, environmental crises such as the weather, the air, the water, pollution everywhere. So when you look at it, regardless of where you are on this earth, we have a common problem. And in order to solve some of these problems, we need to come together. And to meet these challenges, we have to develop a sense of universal responsibility and get involved with our global community so we can set the stage for the future generation. And how do we get involved? Am I asking you to travel all over the world? No. Right here in Kansas City, we have so many ways you can get involved and educate yourself. And when I say educate yourself, I'm not just concerned about you. I'm concerned about the future generation. What kind of example are we setting for our kids? So make sure they're connected. They understand. What are you passionate about? Because whatever you are passionate about, you can pass that on to your kids. And teach them. You can't just say, let's sit at the kitchen table and talk about, look at what Burma is doing or what is going on in Indonesia. How about getting out and see how you can meet those people? Learn from those people. Teach your kids. If you're passionate about religion, we have the Interfaith Council right here in Kansas City, which meet people from all over faith tradition. If they come together, discuss, join in so many different ways, and teach each other about what their religion is all about, what our community, and create that harmony within our interfaith community. If you are a business owner and want to really get involved all over the world and do business, or just see how Brazil does one thing you do, we got the International Visitors Council who invite people from the state, through the State Department, bringing business people, educators, lawyers, I mean, you name it. They come here, they wanna know how we do business, how we do things, and we're also wondering how they do things. And it's the best way to meet those kind of folks within the comfort of your own town, so you know what kind of business they're involved in, how they do it. You know, they come in, the NGOs, the educators, the lawyers, the journalists, they come here. Right here in downtown Kansas City, every year. If you just get involved by giving your email, you'll get all the visitors who's doing what, and you have a choice of to really mingle with these people. I believe in really going in there and meeting people, not by just, you know, when people say I'm doing education online. I want to go to the classroom, meet the 30 classmates, and see what they're all about, learn from them. Maybe I'm from an old school, but the way to do it is by meeting people. If you want to just simply listen to an amazing lecture through International Relations Council, right here in Kansas City, they bring speakers from all over the world every month of the year. And by doing that, you're passing on a legacy to your kid, to get involved, to know, to connect. So, you know, when they go to college tomorrow, they won't be the dumbest kid on earth who really never met somebody from anywhere. I was just in Columbia University a couple of weeks ago. My daughter is in graduate school. The international students. There's so many international students. I'm like, what are the Americans? Who speaks English? You know? And if our kids are not used to this and connected with this from day one, they're going to be lost. You know? So whether it's a culture, education, religion, whatever the case may be, we need to be involved. And I'm not worried about you guys. I'm worried about your kids, the next generation, to have, you know, universal responsibilities about the foundation for peace and about learning about each other. And it is your responsibility to really set that stage for the future generation. People to People International, they do student ambassadors. That's how I got to know about People to People 16 years ago when they approached my daughter about going overseas. Understanding through peace. Right now, the way our country is going, the way the government is going, I'm not so sure the Republicans and Democrats, any one of them are working on peace. They're working on each other, you know, just being on each other's case. So I think as a civilian, this is what President Eisenhower in 1956 said, understanding through peace can be delivered by civilians, and you can be an ambassador to your own community and to your country. So, for the kids as well, you know, Harmony, right here in Kansas City, it used to be Kansas City Harmony, where they bring the kids together in the summer, middle school and high school. So make sure kids from every socioeconomics, every religion, gay or straight, they meet up, they put them together. And kids, bullying, you know, to make sure those things are alleviated, they bring kids together so they can learn from each other. It's your responsibility to look into these things and make sure you are involved. If you are involved, your kids are going to be involved. Because I guarantee you, this new generation, they can sit on computer 24 hours and don't even talk to the kids sitting next door. They can text each other. They don't want to look. Did you just say something? You know. We need to alleviate that, so make sure you are out and get involved in doing things. It's our responsibility to get involved. It's our responsibility to set that stage for the next generation. And whatever you're passionate about is out there. It is out there, whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's about agriculture, air, environment, you name it. You pick your choice and do what you can, because as an Americans, people will look at us as an example. But at the same time, as an Americans, also we are really kind of set in our ways and we're comfortable with what we're doing, and we don't think we need to be involved with anybody else. But the challenge is upon us. We are in a global community. We're not alone anymore. You cannot be sitting in one corner. So get involved. Set an example. Be an ambassador to your country. You know, enrich yourself by learning about culture and religion, and whether you're a business person or not a business person, there's so many extra things you can do within your community without traveling too far. And it's right here in Kansas City. So I encourage you, I challenge you, each and every one of you. This organization enriched my life. I met so many great people. I make sure so many great people. I met my kids so they can understand different culture, different nations, and whatever, whatever it is. So I encourage you to get involved, to be part of your community, to be part of the global community, and help set the stage for the future generation. Thank you.